Hey YouTube, I have great news for all my Sony lovers. Sony has decided to match Canon's prodigy, the EOS R5, with their new camera, Sony A1.
Those lonely nights and heartbreaks, and I feel misplaced with.
Alright guys, so Sony stepped up his game and matched Canon's best camera so far, the R5. The new Alpha 1 seems to be a beast, coming to take place as the alpha of the pack. Let's go straight to it guys, and let's talk about the specs. Alright, so the camera is the same size as the A7S series. It shoots photos at 50 megapixels, burst shooting of 30 frames per second, and it has 15 stops of dynamic range. Sony also added a new sensor, the back illuminator Exmor RS. In video, it supports 8K up to 8.6K oversampling. Also records 4K up to 120 frames per second 10-bit, and this is huge for filmmakers as most cameras bit depth and resolution drops off when shooting 120 frames per second. Per 35mm 4K can be downsampled as 5.8K. with support of 10-bit slug 3 and 5 stops on dynamic range, which opens the door for a lot of filmmakers that are interested on shooting super 35mm. It has in-body image stabilization, which if your camera doesn't have this tool, I don't know what you've been doing for the last 3 years, because nowadays every camera should have that. Alright, let's move on to the SD cards, alright, to the memory card. It uses dual SF Express Type A, which is a modern SD card, right? So the big question is if the Sony A1 overheats like the EOS R5. And according to Sony, it can record a maximum of 30 minutes when shooting at 8K and 4K. That means that it probably does. It probably overheats when shooting more than 30 minutes. And to be honest, I'm not surprised. That's a lot of memory card, a lot of energy, and a lot of heavy stuff putting on such a small camera. You know, remember that to record 8K, we used to have these big old cameras like the Reds and the Blackmagics and all those big cameras. They can handle that, and they have like a fan to cool down the camera. These cameras are too small to have a fan behind it, so it makes sense the overheats, right? So if you are interested in shooting 8K, I mean, go ahead, but depending on what platform you're using the content, you might not need to, right? You might only record in 4K or 1080p. The Viewfinder is pretty fresh too. It has a 9.44 million dots. That's pretty neat, guys. Let's talk about the screen. The Sony A1, it has a tilt screen. It doesn't have the articulated, you know, the flip screen that you can just turn and you can see yourself while you record, which is a little bit of a bummer for me because I do like to have a fully articulated screen. You know, I don't know why Sony keeps doing that. They might have their reasons that I don't know about, but that's the only thing they don't like about this camera. Because either I record myself vlogging, or when I record by myself and I have two cameras, I like to be able to manipulate the screen so I can see even if I'm far away. So that's the only thing with the screen. So my final thoughts on this camera are very simple. This camera is a beast, it's a monster, it's the Godzilla of the camera verse, right? And the price of this camera is $6,498 US. And the price of this camera matches the specs, but to be honest, a lot of people might not be able to purchase this camera. It's a little pricey. And if you are starting to create content, to create videos, you can get a lower price camera and use the rest of the money to buy the rest of the gadgets like lenses, lights, tripods, etc, etc, right? So that's it, guys. Sony came out with this Sony A1 and is the rival for the Canon EOS R5, and it's hard to tell which one is better because they're pretty close. You know, I think at the end of the day all comes down to your preference. What do you like? Do you like Canon better or you like Sony? Because you can do the job with both of them if we are honest. Alright guys, so we have reached the end of the video and you guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and see you guys next time. Peace.